I'm Richard Rellis, and I'm going to try to make columnist Bob Robb visibly wince by quoting Superintendent of Public Instruction Kathy Hoffman's State of the Education System in Arizona, her speech on that talked about the need to spend the rainy day fund. If you don't believe it's raining in Arizona, you need to check your privilege. Bob, what did you think of what Superintendent Hoffman said?
I did find that a very self-righteous statement. I mean, there's reason to argue about what level of funding we have for Arizona schools and what the legislature should do about it, and whether we should have tax cuts or not. But to cast this as a battle between those who are checking their privilege and those who are not, I think gives short shrift to the substance of the arguments. And in her claim that Arizona schools aren't being fully funded, she's being a bit slippery and disingenuous.
Right, because you point out that they're fully funded. Schools are funded under the existing formula, even though the pandemic means that they may not be getting as many real dollars as they would have in a year where we're not experiencing a pandemic.
Yes, I mean, we do have state formulas that are based upon the number of students and the type of instruction that goes on. Due to the pandemic, there are fewer students and there is more remote learning and less in-class instruction. But they will get full funding for what they're doing under those state funding formulas. And it's wrong to imply otherwise. No one is talking about shortchanging the schools or not fully funding the formulas this year or next. What Hoffman and others actually are advocating is bonus funding, to say the state should pay the schools for students who aren't there and in-house instruction that's not taking place. There's an argument for that, but that argument should be made without trying to convey the false impression that someone out there is proposing to shortchange the schools and not fully fund them. There's another sense of fully funding, which is many people, including myself, believe that the existing formulas don't give the schools enough money to do what they need to do. But even in that, it's sort of disingenuous as a supporter of Prop 208, which Hoffman was, and which claimed to fully fund schools in that respect, to be being so self-righteous in saying that the legislature should be doing what the proponents claim that Prop 208 would do on its own.
And I guess, I mean, you start off the column by bringing up the idea that when did the Superintendent of Public Instruction give an address about education to lawmakers? I mean, the way it's written, right? You say in the Constitution, it's pretty much an administrative position.
It is. It's not a policy-making position. Education policy in the state is set by the governor and the legislature and the State Board of Education. The superintendent's position is an administrative one. Its primary function is to oversee a department which collects the data and checks the data that's used to decide how much money the schools get under the funding formula. It's really not a policy-making position, and I'm not sure why it is the superintendent that has this function, but she's not the first one. It's not anything that she invented. It's something that precedes her. It's just something that, given the self-righteous nature of this speech, caused me to question, why are we doing this?
And I guess this would lead then to the discussion down the road of why we elect a superintendent of public instruction, a state treasurer, a mine inspector, but we'll save that for the streaming service that AZ Central may start for a pay down the road. The extra video extra, yeah.
Sounds like a good idea.